Security has become an important topic for many software systems. With the growing success of the internet, computer and software systems have become more and more networked. Researchers are already developing scenarios in which millions of devices are connected and cooperatively running web-based commerce, government, health and other types of security-sensitive systems. Much of the research effort in these scenarios is devoted to security aspects. But what happens if in a pervasive health scenario, cardiology data collected by wireless sensors attached to your body and pre-processed by software on your PDA is interrupted and manipulated by an unauthorized person during its transmission to your doctor? Or even think of a scenario in which the software in your car is updated remotely because an attacker has compromised the manufacturer's servers. Welcome back to Cyber Defense Lab. That was just a section of the book that I'm reading called Security Patterns Integrating Security and Systems Engineering. So let's take apart the last 5 weeks of my life. Hello and welcome back to the podcast. And thank you very much for always listening in. It's been about 5 weeks. This is going to be a short podcast today. Just want to give you up-to-date information of what's been happening. Where do we start? Okay, so I've outgrown my lab completely 5 weeks ago due to running Mac OS, so an Apple Mac PowerBook. I realised that I only had 3.6 gigabytes of memory to use, and the whole time I was running 4 gigabytes, which is the reason why Wazoo was not loading entirely. So the manager was, but the dashboard wasn't, and the interpreter wasn't either. And I think it all came to a head really with doing Atomic Red Team, and I just couldn't go any further. But what happens when you do that? What happens when you're, building your lab and you outgrow it really? Well, you change tacks, and over the last 5 weeks, I've basically reflected on everything that has been working so far. Been looking at SOC Tier 1, working protocols through all of that as well. So I know TCP, UDP, back to front, the top commands of Linux, the top commands of Windows. I mean, couldn't really do any more. Really blown away by Sysmon actually from Microsoft. I don't normally talk about the good stuff that's happening with Microsoft because I don't think there's really that much going on that's any good. But Sysmon is pretty good. It was really exciting to do some more false positives and brute force attacks on my own network. So just really reflected on the whole thing. I've grown to SOC Tier 1 / Tier 2, and I reached out to a few people really. So I knew that my lab needed to be better than it was. I need to be running more than 4 gigabytes, and just to blow away a myth really, all of this hardware and the increasing cost of hardware and software and everything, particularly the hardware, isn't necessarily more expensive these days. So very shortly I'll be having a new computer looking at about 42 gigabytes, and the price is about €450 for that. So it's not expensive. It's about a third the price of a MacBook Pro when you buy that new these days for about 1,300. And with 42 gigabytes of RAM in there, really, it's just going to be able to run so many virtual machines that I've been really looking forward to run. So we're talking about Kali Linux, we're talking about Splunk, we're talking about Wireshark, and all that good stuff, really. So that's in the process, and while I'm waiting for that to come along, I reached out to a couple of people, just wanting to increase my monitor usage. So there was a really nice guy, big shout out to Michael actually. Thanks very much, Michael, for giving me your BenQ monitor and also your ThinkPad monitor as well. So that's fantastic for scripting. Even I think it comes in at about 30 centimeters long. Much better than my Samsung at 64 centimeters, because that was giving me a bit of eye ache, to be honest. So I've got 3 computers, 3 screens all running now. Lovely LCDs. It's really great. So just waiting for the big monster ThinkPad to come in, and then we're just set up. The new lab, really. Not sure whether I'll use the TP link at the moment, but so that's not on ice at the moment. That is working its way to me, which is great. And for all of you out there who are really getting into cybersecurity, you can via eBay pick up some really good computers. Just a tip from me really is just make sure it's not BIOS protected, because otherwise you just can't get in. And what I mean with that is really if you're looking at a ThinkPad, like a T14 that I'm looking at really, there's lots of, well, let's go through it really. I mean, you're looking at 16 gigabytes at about €250. You're looking at about, €350 for about 32 gig. And then you're looking at about €450 for about 42 gig. And I don't think you need any more than 42 gig really as a basic level, cybersecurity, student there, and just, having the home lab before you go to work and get a position. And even so, this computer system would be great for 5 to 10 years. So I've been reading, I've gone back into Python, been reading Python from Thomas Thies for a good couple of weeks. Also another tip really, if you're reading something in German or you're reading something in a different language to your own, try and stick to English as well, because that's so much easier to just make things stick. Otherwise I was just translating the thing all the time. And big shout out to Max. Actually met Max, a university student who's doing his master's in artificial intelligence, which is amazing. And we've been talking backwards and forwards, and I'm now part of the high school in Kempton actually, so I can actually go there and read some amazing security engineering stuff, which I've moved on to now, while I wait for 2 books to be ordered, which is Security Engineering from Ross Anderson, and also the practice of network security monitoring by Richard Betchlick. And they're just really, top standard books to read before the lab comes along. And then when the lab comes along, I'll be running I'll be running Kali Linux most definitely on that one, and just using Splunk, Wireshark. I did also do Hackersploit's Blue Team Fundamentals course, which took about a week and a half. Absolutely fantastic. It's all free on YouTube. The second part of the course I didn't do because I know that I'm going into systems engineering now. So that's really where I'm at now. Just a tip as well. If you're using LinkedIn, just log your progress on LinkedIn. Don't expect people to write to you. Don't expect any likes or anything else. Just log your progress. I've gone away from Indeed now as well for looking for jobs, because you just see all the same jobs coming up all of the time. And just, if you put into ChatGPT, your local area, really, it will just bring up the best cybersecurity companies that you can get in touch with. And a few of them now are really just doing like an initiative application, so you can just send your details over, send your CV over there as well. Update your CV all the time. That's really, really important. And you'll be seeing me on GitHub very soon. GitHub, I'm on Simon Arnold 007, and I've done the heat gauge. I've written a whole heat gauge program in Python, which is absolutely fantastic, and 84 people have made amendments on that one, so more the merrier, I would say. But otherwise, that's it. I'm going to get back to security engineering for the security patterns this week, and I'll catch up with you very soon.